Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. I know it's been a very long time, I've been super busy, but I'm back with uploading some videos. So this was league race number 2 for me, at Hockenheim in Mintley of course. So following on from Silverstone in the first round, and we're going to jump straight back into it. So this was at Hungarian in Mintley of course, as I said. And this is apparently a pretty good track for this car. So already done a 44.5 in qualifying in this first race, 2 40-minute races. So another sprint round here, and we're going to see what we can do. 13 drivers for this round, so yeah, fairly good turnout. Obviously, we'd love to get a full 20 at some point in the season. But yeah, on my second lap here, and this I believe will be one of my faster laps. You see, hooking up the apex nicely down the dip, very tricky to corner, very easy to run wide and invalidate your lap time over the curve on the inside, and then round the long right hand. I've got to be very patient on the power, waiting, and now full power, and make sure the car doesn't step out on you. Quite easy in this car to do that, but we are running maximum wing, so hopefully that will prevent us from slowing down too much. Lots of curve you can take with this car. It's very good over the curves, sits nicely on them, and it means we can absolutely maximise the track as we like, which you can't really do with other cars such as the Ferrari. Through probably the trickiest and fastest corner on the track, just kept it in track limits there. It was a good corner. Braking at the end of the curve down the hill into the penultimate sector, the final sector, and a couple of last corners. Very tricky, got to be again very patient through these long corners. Don't want to do a 360 spin like Verstappen did in the Formula 1 World Championship this season, but he ended up still winning it, so even if we spin, we might still have a bit of a chance. There we go, 44.4, that puts us provisional P2, and by the end of the session we were P3. So yeah, a pretty good qualifying session there. Very happy with that. I was right on the pace there, you know, about 5 tenths off the top 2 guys, which I think were very quick anyway, and I wasn't going to beat them either way. But yeah, on to the race now. Lining up on the start, make sure we do not speed, do not get a drive through. That would be the worst thing possible. We're going to try and time the lights as best we can. And lights go green, it's go, go, go. Decent getaway, but Luke on the left hand side gets a decent start. We managed to pull away with a bit of Bentley power, and we're going to send up the inside here. We've got to be careful on the brakes, we don't go into JDM in front. We almost get him up the inside, but the curb sort of spins us around halfway. So alongside Diego in the Ferrari now, coming down the hill, braking on the end of the curb, but it's going to be very difficult to hang this one around the outside until we get hit by Mr. Stefano Marchetto in Lexus. So yeah, that was not a good start. So here we go. If you missed that, here's what happened in slow motion. We're on the outside. We've left a car width on the inside, but the concertina of the corner just, you know, just causes contact. So very unfortunate there. Marmolotto or Stefano ended up getting 2 penalty points for that. So as it completely, well, you'll see it completely ruins this race for me. But we're going to carry on. It's a last to first challenge now, but that's not going to be the end of the carnage for this lap. As we go up the hill here, there's going to be more cars off the road, and I've got literally nowhere to go as Lee Fitzy comes right back on the track.
Got some light damage on the
I had nowhere to go there, couldn't get on the brakes in time to stop the car, and we end up doing a few pirouettes in the grass with the lack of grip. So yeah, really right down to last position now, which is a real shame.
Car on the right.
We've got over 30 seconds of damage now as well, so that front heavy impact really hurt us. I can feel now on this lap as we go through these long corners up here in the middle sector that the steering was completely out of alignment, so I had to pit, otherwise I would just be losing so much time. And I'm going to skip, because editing is very handy, this age of a pit stop. A minute felt like so long. It's not far off, probably 3/4 of a lap around here, so I lost an awful lot of time, and hence I am now being lapped.
Fast car is approaching.
I have to let Morley B go through, as I am technically now a lap down, and they are classing the game as faster cars on different laps. So I've got a lot of work to do here. I've got to unlap myself, and then once I've unlapped myself, try and gain a few more positions from this 12th place. But as the points work out, I still get 1 point in 12th position, so if I end up like this at the end of the race, I still get a singular point, although it could be a race of what could have been, as I could be up in 3rd or 2nd by now.
Clear on the left.
Yeah, trying to unlap ourselves against Morley here in the McLaren. It's quite obvious to me that I'm a bit quicker than him.
Faster car approaching.
He leaves the door open on the inside at the final corner, and we take that opportunity to go up his inside. And you can see I've got blue flags wave, but I just have to create a gap in time so I do not get penalised for unlapping myself. Braking just before the board on the left there, we're actually a bit deep into that corner, but hooking up the exit okay. The Bentley is pretty good at the low speed corners here. It's got really good torque on the low speed corners, so it's quite good on exit at the slow speed corners, which I think is why it's so quick at this track. There you go, we're catching up to 8th place now, but we are still a lap behind, so we're still unlapping ourselves. We've got Piaf in front and Samuel just ahead as well, and Axel's not too far up the road. All people that we can potentially beat if we're on the same lap, definitely beat if we're on the same lap, but unfortunately that contact has really put us back. And the person who I clashed with at the start, Stefano, he ended up not really losing many places, much positions, and he kept about 4th place, I believe. So yeah, he got very lucky with that. But as I say, he did receive 2 penalty points for it, so yeah, at least he wasn't not penalised, which is good English. Anyway, we're right up behind Piaf, and yeah, we're just trying to find a way through. This is a very difficult track to overtake. It's fairly narrow. There's a lot of long, sweeping corners that are very hard to stay close to the car behind unless he makes a mistake, and there is the mistake we need.
On the right.
We get such a good exit off the long right that we're going to put it up the inside. I don't think Piaf realised that we're trying to unlap ourselves here, and he doesn't want to lose time to the guys ahead, so I've got to make this overtake as quick as possible. But he covers it off, and fair enough, there's not a lot I can do there. So it was going to be always a difficult move to go around the outside of the 90-degree right. He boxes at the end of this lap anyway, so that gives me a little bit of free air to pump some laps in. So my best lap here is a 1:45.3, so having to go through all the traffic, I'm not really putting in brilliant lap times, but that's racing sometimes. So we catch up to Axel and Samuel fighting here for 5th and 6th place, with Kaiser about 5 seconds up the road. So we need to try and get through these guys as quickly as we can. Otherwise we're going to lose a lot of time to the guys ahead. You see I'm flashing the lights almost constantly, like come on, let me go. I know I'm a lap behind, but it's unlikely that I'll be racing you by the end of the race. It'll be very difficult to try and catch these guys up a lap down, because the pace isn't too bad. But you can see we're sort of sizing up a move here, but we're just going to back off because it's a bit risky. We don't want any contact. We're going to have to be really careful making our way through, as we don't want any penalty points ourselves. You can see Samuel tries it around the outside, the long left of this penultimate corner. Doesn't quite work for him, so he is going to box with 22 minutes in the race to go. So we're pretty much half distance now. Now I've just got to try and find my way past Axel in the Lexus, very quick down the straight, as you'll see here in the slipstream. I'm not really gaining all that much, but despite that we're going to go for a big send, put the car up the inside, release the brakes slightly to put it on the inside, and it's done on the apex. So Axel didn't fire that, he knew I was trying to unlap myself, and yeah, but here we go. When most people have now pitted, with 6 minutes to go, I'm fighting for 10th place with Morley, so we've gone from lapping him to actually overtaking for position. You see he makes a mistake there on the penultimate corner, and it allows us through. But unfortunately Axel, well, he's 30 seconds up the road called into the Delta. And the leader JDM is still yet to pit. I believe he pits on the final lap on this race. So yeah, unfortunate this race really. What could have been, because I mean, without the contact, I could have been second or third. I feel like I had pretty good race pace. Yeah, let me know what you guys think of the contact. Do you think I left enough room, or do you think that was all on Stefano, despite him getting 80 points? It's up to you. You can decide. Put your predictions in the comments. And but you can see here we're catching up with Axel. He is now only 4 seconds up the road, so I've gained a massive amount of time on him. Considering my last laps aren't all that quick, you can see I've got a minute or so left in the race to try and get this move done for 9th place. And you can tell it's full position now. He's not going to let me through that easily, but he does make a mistake, and I'm able to put my car up the inside and then defend very slightly into the final corner, just so he doesn't get tempted to go for the move. Park it on the apex, and that is the move done there. So we can try and pull away from Axel now. It's very unlikely that we're going to get anyone else, as we lost so much time in the pit stop with that 30 seconds of damage. So the normal pit stop time would be about 30 seconds, because we have to change tyres and maybe add fuel if you wish. But yeah, that was that race really. So we're going to bring it home in P9. Considering what happened in that race, I wasn't too unhappy. We gained positions from last, so
good job.
yeah,
Yes, you could take it easy.
that's I think the best we probably could have done anyway. So decent race there considering the circumstances, but we're going to hope for more in the second race, because we have lost a lot of points to the top guys there. So you see JDM won that race with Diego 30 seconds behind, and Marma not far behind. So we definitely could have been in that battle for second place potentially. Here we go, quali 2, the next sprint race. This will be our quickest lap in quali. We've got 30 seconds on the clock to go. You see just right before the end of the curve on the board on the left. Tucking into the apex, short shifting to second to get the traction out of the corner. Down the hill, very easy to miss your braking point on this, but it's just at the end of the curve. Bring it, sort of trail brake it into the corner, keep it nice tight apex, because unlike in Formula 1, you don't want to go too wide and go for the exit, because you just lose too much time in these cars. So yeah, you can see our best lap so far is a 44.3, so fairly similar to what we did in first quali session, but we are about 2 tenths up or nearabouts. See the timer has run out, so this is my one chance to get the lap into the chicane. I'm going to use lots of curb here. Could have used a little bit more than that, but we used a lot on the second apex, so that was good. Running the curb using all the track, ducking it into the left and getting it left for the right. You can see we've lost a little bit of time there, but we are still up on the Delta through the long right. Can we nail it? We hit the apex nicely, on the power nicely, and well within track limit, so that was good. Braking at the end of the curve again. You can see I slightly go deep, but using first gear to get traction out the corner, and you can see actually we've lost a tiny bit of time there. Can we gain it back in the final 2 corners? You can see we had a decent exit there into the final corner. The pressure's on now, because I'm going to need to improve, as I'm 5th at the minute. And you can see I gain about a 10th in the final corner, and that promotes me to 4th. So not a massive change, but it was very close in the end. So we get 4th with JGM first, Marma in second, Diego in third, and myself in 4th with Luke right behind me. So yeah, we're going to see what we can do in this race, and hopefully, fingers crossed, there is no contact. That is what we are going to try and avoid in this race, because the last thing we want is contact again, and that would be a really bad day at the office if we were to get 2 very low point score finishes. But here we go, getting ready for the green light. There you go, on now. I almost sped there, but got away with it. You see Samuel got a drive through there, but Luke actually gets to jump on me on the lights as I was right. I was going to speed, but the Bentley power ends up coming through. I'm tempted to look up the inside of Marma, but I know he's just going to close the door on the apex. So I sort of get pinched on the inside. I'm side by side with Luke again in the McLaren. and down the hill. I'm not going to go for any risky business here, so if Luke wants that place, we
Clear on the
can have
left.
it. I meant much wider, so there was no contact, and we settle in 4th position. So yeah, Diego actually in the first race he qualified 2nd, 3rd, and he actually got disconnected, so he's starting from the back. But you'll have to watch him because he comes through the pack very, very quickly in this race. I was staggered how quickly he came through the pack in that Ferrari. So keep an eye on Diego, and he'll be a factor in this race for sure. But in the middle sector here, taking the chicane much better than Luke, as can't quite run as much curb in the McLaren as we can in Bentley. But we're going to still plough on here. We are clearly at this stage of the lap slightly quicker than Luke. He's dropped off a little bit from the top 2 guys, so at this point I'm sort of sizing up a move, but not going to be too risky because we don't want any contact, like I said. John's right behind us as well. He ended up having a very good round, finished fairly well in the first race. You can definitely see what he can do in this second race. But no one boxes on the first lap. JDM actually goes wide there, and Marmolotto sticks out the inside, so the front 2 are side by side going down the straight, and then Marmolotto has to slot back in, but they'll certainly be fighting down into the first corner. So I'm thinking sizing up a move on Luke, but also thinking, well, let's not go for a move because, well, they're fighting too. So yeah, we can potentially work together here with Luke. If you can see in the rearview mirror there's a speck of yellow there, and that is already Diego up into 7th place from 12th, so he's already gained 5 positions on that first lap. Super first lap from Diego, and you can see actually we get a massive snap of oversteer out the slow speed corner. We lose the position to John. That was really unfortunate timing as well, because Skyfu is going to have a look, but I managed to cover it off into the left. So yeah, very frustrating mistake there, but we're going to see if we can try and take that position back from John, because it was mine and I want it back, because 4th place would be much better than 9th like in the previous race. But yeah, you can see pressure's all good as well, so nicely in the 27s and high 26s, so that's all good. And yeah, we're going to try and keep on the back of John and also catch up to that front pack, because that is where we were. See, I'll take Apex a little bit too early there, but John takes it much worse. We're going to have a look for the move. We're sticking our nose up the inside and we're just going to send it. Lovely little dive bomb there. He doesn't fight it. I don't think he actually knew I was going to send it from that far back, but I did. And we get back through on John. So I think the McLarens are actually struggling around here a little bit. So that move was fairly easy. But if you can just stay out of trouble, then you can get some good points, which we'll see will happen. Diego already sick. He's literally 2 positions behind me, and by about 4 minutes to go, 35 minutes left, Diego is right on my tail. He's literally half a second behind me, so he's absolutely flying in that Ferrari. Credit to him, he drove very, very well all evening, and yeah, ended up having a very good round. You see, we've already caught up to this front pack as they were fighting, especially JDM and Marmolotto fighting very, very hard at the front, and Luke is just about keeping with. But you can see I'm not exactly on the pace either, because Diego is massively catching minor lift, because I didn't want to go for a move on Luke there, and you can see he's actually lagging out, and that completely caught me off guard. I mean, I completely missed the apex into this long right, and it's going to give Diego the perfect opportunity to go for a move into the chicane. I don't fight it because I know at this point he is much quicker. He went through the pack really, really quickly. I thought, well, it might be better for me to just follow him, get back on this pack, and when he goes through the field, I can try and follow him through. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to think smart, we're going to think long in this race, because fighting at the start, it's only going to lose us time. You can see Skyfu is only 2.2 seconds behind, so this fighting has not let us run away at all. But yeah, you can see we're on the back of Diego, like we said, just following. He's been caught up slightly behind Luke, and by following we've actually gained quite a lot of time on the top 2. So they are only about a second ahead. You can see I get a warning, and I'm actually sizing up and moving Diego, so he's a bit slow, and then he gets spooked by Luke very early on the brakes
Car
there,
on the left.
and comes back on the track and tries to retake the position. He'll try and hang it round the outside
On
on
the
the
left.
marbles. There is just no grip, as you can see by the massive snap of oversteer there, and there is really nothing we can do to prevent that. So we'll just stick behind Diego, try not to fight him too much. You see my tyres still dirty, they're sliding out of the final corner, so that has lost us
Gaining on
some
the car
time.
ahead in sector 2.
But yeah, if we can just follow Diego and fight the top 3, then that would be good. Into the first corner, doing about mid to high 45s at this point in the race due to all the fighting. But you can see this is where the race completely changes. The top 2, JD and Mamama, actually have contact into the hairpin, and well, that gives me a free 3rd place. So that was really, really nice. I think there was a slight bit of network issue there when they touched, but I think there was a clear contact between the two, which led them spinning out at the hairpin. But we've got a serious chance for a win here, as Diego and Luke are fighting very hard, and we are not even a second behind them. So if we can capitalise on their fight, you see Diego looking for a move there around the outside at the hairpin. He goes to the inside now and actually takes Luke. Does he on the inside? Still side by side. Luke's going to stick it up the inside. Meanwhile, I've gained a massive heap of time through that corner, and you can see I'm sizing up and move myself, but due to the narrow track there's not really anywhere I can go. Luke goes really wide at the long left, at the quick left, and then manages to keep the position. But yeah, great fighting here, and yeah, this was very good, but it was all going to sort of unravel for me when there was a bit of pit stop confusion, as the server said you did not have to change tyres, even though despite the rules of this race you had to change tyres. So some people just splash and dash on fuel and end up getting quite a lot of time on me. So yeah, very unfortunate that I was going off the rules and other people went off the server, so yeah, but nobody got penalised because there was a bit of confusion. So yeah, but we're going to try and stick on the top 2 until unfortunately that will happen. And you see going for our pit stop here. Fairly tricky pit entry here, so going on the inside of the final corner, and the line comes up fairly soon. There it is. There we go, pit limiter on. Down the pit lane, you see. One of the Lexus, I believe that is maybe Axel in the pit lane. We do our pit stop, and unfortunately we do not stop at the marks very well. Yeah, producer Edson, we're going to skip that 30-second pit stop because it does not feel like an age. And then, yeah, but by the time I emerge, I'm down in 5th position and a good 10 seconds off the pack I was racing. So actually Skyfu has gained massively there. He's 18 seconds up over me, so I reckon I probably lost a good 17 seconds or so. But yeah, that was that race, guys. So that was that round, Hungary. Not a brilliant round for me, probably the worst round, because Silverstone ended up getting some good results there despite a bit of contact. So we're going to bring it home in 5th. If you have enjoyed that video, make sure to like and subscribe and comment your thoughts, as always. Really appreciate all the support. I know it's been a while, but I'm going to try and hammer out some of these videos if I can. Yeah, we're going to bring it home in 5th place.
Alright, checkered flag, good job, you did the best you could. I'll bring the
So
car
on
back.
to the next round. Can't even remember what the round is, but you can see what we can do, and hopefully we can get something good out of it. So there's the results, guys. Yeah, if you have enjoyed, make sure to smash that like, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one, which will hopefully be soon, maybe next week, something like that. No promises though. Have a good one, guys, and I'll see you all next time.
Just